Hi, plant-based nutritionista here. Welcome to my channel. Sorry I haven't posted a video in the last couple of weeks. I've been in a really intense Pilates teacher training, and so I haven't been able to post a video in a little bit, but thank you for sticking with me. Today we are going to be talking about a really fun topic. We'll be talking about 5 ways to boost your metabolism. And we're going to kind of go over how to do this and how it works in relation to a healthy diet, exercise, and all those things. So we'll get right into the video. I thought I'd give you a little sneak peek into the behind the scenes here when I do these videos. So I'm going to show you my little buddy. He was probably going to growl at me. This is Buddy. He's always here with me when I'm doing videos, laying next to me. Um, He's been at my side for the last 2 years since we rescued him um, from a shelter. He was going to be put down on Monday, and we found out about it through a rescue organization. They were looking for a family for him. And so we told them Friday before they closed that we would take them, don't do anything. We would be there Monday, and we picked him up that Monday and brought him home, and he has been glued to my side ever since. And that's why I call him my buddy. He sleeps at my feet at night in bed, and he follows me everywhere I go. If I close the door in here to do videos for you, he cries. And so he has to be on the bed with me, and he does these videos right next to me. So I thought I would let you see little buddy who does these videos with me, and now he's being all wild. So let's get right into the video. So the number one thing to help, and these things boosting your metabolism, these are when you are struggling to lose weight. You've been eating a healthy diet, exercising, doing good things. You're not binging. You're not, you know, eating things that you shouldn't, and it's just not coming off. These are things that you can kind of add and play around with. So the first one is intermittent fasting. And there was a review published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And they kind of reviewed all the literature on humans and intermittent fasting. And the overview suggests that intermittent fasting regimens may be a promising approach to lose weight and improve metabolic health for people who can tolerate intervals of not eating or eating very little for certain hours of the day or days a week. Research has also shown intermittent fasting improves insulin sensitivity. It boosts human growth hormone, which appears to reduce abdominal fat in the research. Human growth hormone during a fasted state um, enhances protein retention, increased lipolysis, or the breakdown of fat, and other positive hormonal changes. So, intermittent fasting can be a really effective tool if you are struggling with weight loss. However, I have a few caveats of this. I do not promote using intermittent fasting by eating only 500 calories a day for certain days of the week or following rigid plans. You have to fast, you know, 16 or 18 hours a day. You can eat from this time to this time because we're all different. Our metabolisms are different. Our needs are different. Some people might be able to go longer in a fasted state than other people. I don't think there is one right or wrong way, but I don't think anybody should be eating 500 calories a day for certain days of the week. I don't recommend that at all. So I do recommend listening to your body's hunger cues and I always say this, but you really need to be in tune with your own body and what you need. And this is for healthy people that don't have, you know, diabetes or other things that might be contraindicated to fasting. Delay your breakfast as long as you comfortably can. It's okay to be hungry. That's not a problem. It's okay if you are getting really, really hungry. Your body will be burning fat as long as your energy levels are good, as long as you're feeling good, you can delay your breakfast. Does that mean delay till 9 o'clock in the morning, 10, 11? Maybe you don't eat breakfast. That kind of depends on your body and how hungry you feel. And then you'll get to a point where you realize, oh, I do need to eat now. So kind of play around with that a little bit. And I also recommend eating dinner as early as you possibly can, or if you have to eat a later dinner, make it the lightest meal of the day, one way or the other, just to kind of help. So what you're doing is just increasing that fasting window overnight. So you're extending it farther into the day, and into the morning and kind of shortening that eating window. The other thing that you can do is make longer periods of time between meals. So instead of eating every 3 hours, which I don't really recommend unless there's an absolute need for that, um, spacing meals out more like 4 hours apart, allow your body to get to that true hunger um, phase. So some people might only be eating 2 meals a day in that case. You just kind of have to adjust your meal times, play around with that, and you will find a sweet spot where fat loss just really starts to speed up, and that's what you want. So you're going to have to play around with that. I don't give specific recommendations because it's different for everybody. Number 2 is eat carbohydrates. So I know some people might think this is completely crazy, but research conducted by the National Center for Global Health evaluated the diets of over 80,000 Japanese participants and found that the lowest weight individuals had the highest carbohydrate intake and the lowest fat intake. Researchers concluded the odds of remaining slim are highest with carbohydrate intake around 64% of calories. Um, when we talk about the lowest fat intake, we are talking about meeting dietary needs. We're not talking about fat-free or fat-free junk foods. We're talking about eating a healthy whole foods diet that's low in fat intake. The researchers also found that by taking, this was a different research or different study, taking low carb dieters off of a low carbohydrate diet and encouraging consumption of high resistance starch carbohydrates, their cravings significantly diminished, and the cravings that go along with low carbohydrate diets are just part of the body's defense mechanisms of starvation. And we can talk about that in a different video. It raises the satiety of their diet, which improves the balance of ghrelin and leptin, and that's the hunger and satiation hormones. So they regulate your appetite and boost metabolic rate. So it's balancing that out among people who have previously been on a low carbohydrate diet. Researchers at the Beltsville Human Nutrition Center at the USDA found that participants consumed a diet high in resistant starch reduced their postprandial blood glucose levels by 38%, basically meaning after you eat a meal, your blood sugar levels were reduced by 38%. So consuming legumes, potatoes, corn, rice, which are all high resistant starch foods. I know a lot of us, oh, potatoes, rice, that will make you fat. It really actually doesn't. It's the company that those keep that causes the problem, but that's for a different video. Eat your carbohydrates. That is part of keeping the metabolism going. That is the fuel for your body. It's what stokes the fire of your metabolism. So, number 3, spice up your life. Researchers found that participants that consumed 2.56 milligrams of capsaicin per meal promoted greater fat oxidation when they were in a negative energy balance. And it also helped counteract negative effects of energy expenditure while in a negative energy balance and weight loss diet. So, what does this mean? This does not mean that you can take capsaicin and you're just going to start burning fat and get thin. This is not a supplement, okay? You don't sit on the couch and eat donuts and take capsaicin and all of a sudden your fat starts melting off. What this is, these individuals were in a calorie deficit, meaning they were eating fewer calories than their body needed, and the capsaicin was just boosting fat oxidation and assisting in those efforts, okay? Next is number 4, sleep 6+ hours a night. And I know when I've read things on boosting your metabolism, I always rolled my eyes at this one and thought, oh, please, I sleep fine. And I don't have an issue with sleeping less than 6 hours a night, but some people do. Chronic sleep deprivation has shown in research to increase the body's hunger-stimulating hormone ghrelin, while at the same time decreasing leptin, which is your satiation hormone. This is basically a recipe for disaster if you're trying to lose weight. So if you are in a chronic sleep deficit, this doesn't mean, oh, I had a terrible night's sleep last night, or, on occasion you have a terrible night's sleep. This is a chronic sleep deficit. This is the people who are staying up until 2 in the morning and have to get up at 6 to go to work, that type of a thing. They feel constantly hungry. They're always snacking. They feel like they can't stop eating once they've started. This is an imbalance in the hunger stimulating hormone and ghrelin and leptin, which is your satiation hormone. You feel like you can't stop eating. This can be caused by other things other than lack of sleep, but for the sake of this, video, this is what we're talking about. So if you're struggling to fall asleep, struggling to stay asleep at night, or you're living on less than 6 hours of sleep and feel like you're struggling with cravings, binge eating, struggling to stop eating once you've started, you might want to start looking at your sleep and making sure that you're getting 7 or more hours of sleep a night. And you'll find that this will reduce cravings and binges and other overeating episodes. If this is your issue, if you're having those issues but you are sleeping enough at night, it's probably for a different reason, and that's for a different video. So this isn't so much about boosting metabolism, I guess, but it will help with weight loss, so I threw it in here. But it certainly will help balance the hunger and satiation hormones, which will prevent you from overeating. Well, that's going to help your weight loss, so why not go for it? And number 5, be neat, which means to increase your non-exercise activity levels, or it's not non-exercise thermogenesis. But anyway, researchers who conducted the study on the traditional Japanese diet also found that those participants that were very thin walked about 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day. So this is where we're getting our 7 to 10,000 steps per day. If you have, I don't know, a pedometer in one of your electronic devices, you might want to look at that and just try to aim for that. It's a really good thing to keep yourself active and moving. Don't exhaust yourself so much in your morning workout that you crash the rest of the day. Because a lot of times what happens, if people don't realize that this happens, is you go and you do this big hit workout, high intensity, um, going full out, and you are so sweaty and exhausted when you're done. Your body actually compensates for that by decreasing your non-exercise activity throughout the day. Even just your fidgeting, your, bouncing your legs, those kinds of things basically decrease. You don't have as much energy. You end up sitting on the couch more, and it kind of compensates for that calorie burn. That's not what you want. And it actually, in the end, isn't going to make a huge difference with your weight loss. Your body's going to make adjustments in order to compensate, and it can, what am I trying to say? I can basically be counterproductive to weight loss. So take the stairs, go for an evening walk. My husband and I walk 2 to 3 miles every evening. That's aside from my morning workout, but my morning workouts aren't crazy. And I've talked about why my morning workouts are not crazy hit workouts in other videos if you want to check those out. Park further away from the store and walk, do yard work, household chores. All activity counts towards your daily energy expenditure, keeping your muscles moving and burning calories. It doesn't have to be organized exercise. So I injured myself weightlifting, and I am going to do a video on why I don't do heavy weightlifting anymore. I've injured myself several times, and I will show you pictures. I have proof of what happened. But I was unable to work out. I couldn't even bend over without holding onto something and bending down to pick something up because of how injured I was. I was actually at my lowest adult weight when I was unable to exercise. And I'm not talking about losing muscle weight. I was very lean. I was still strong. I carried a lot of things. I couldn't bend over and pick things up. But I spent my days on my feet. I was canning peaches. I was canning other things from the garden, jam, doing laundry, cleaning, taking evening walks before bed. And instead of gaining weight when I couldn't exercise, I actually lost weight. And I did not just lose muscle mass, and I wasn't the skinny fat that everybody talks about. I was actually the leanest I've ever been in my adult life and had the lowest body fat percentage. So it isn't so much about this hit exercise and all the crazy weightlifting that you have to be doing in order to lose weight. You don't have to be doing that. You just need to be up on your feet and active throughout the day. So we're going to do a little recap. The best combination for health and optimal fat loss is a whole food, plant-based diet, moderate exercise, and yes, I mean moderate, I don't mean crazy stuff, an active lifestyle, adequate rest, adequate hydration, listening to your body's hunger cues, and not trying to time your meals at specific times, but just listening. If Some days you're not going to be that hungry and you might not eat until dinner time. That's okay. If you just didn't feel hungry that day, it's okay. You don't have to force yourself to eat ever. And then adding a little spice to your life with some capsaicin just to give yourself that extra boost. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you to kind of figure out a few things that you can do to boost that weight loss, boost fat loss specifically. And these are basically the things that I do in my own life in order to maintain a normal weight even into my 40s and beyond. So hopefully that was helpful. And if you did like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below, and I will see you next time.